as you know, I found a Honda S2000 on the side of the road in a sorry state. It was covered in grime, dirt, spider webs, inside and outside of the car. It looked like it needed a lot of work doing. We didn't know what was wrong with it, so what we tried to do was jump start the car to try and get it back to life. We then discovered that this car was going to need a lot of work doing, possibly crank, possibly rod knock, we didn't know. But what we done, we made a fair offer, put it on the back of the truck, then needed to unseize the caliper to try and get the car moving again to see what else was wrong. So what we done, we unstuck the caliper, we then had to ship it off again to our good guy at LK Tuning. Yo guys, so it's Honda S2000 update video. We're just at the unit now where we've obviously stored it. Just gonna try have a little look at it and see what's wrong. You've seen in the video we unstuck the caliper. We obviously recovered it. So we started it as well in video 1, moved it in video 2, it's now video 3. The car's just behind me here now, so just point so you can see it's on the ramps and that. Obviously we're just having a little look underneath what's wrong with the car. Or not what's wrong with the car, but just getting a gauge of what needs doing underneath it. Just have a little, putting the camera on these bits here. Obviously you can see a bit of the rust. These things ain't nothing to worry about in terms of how long the car's been sat. So we're not worried about things like that. We need to get to the bottom of why the car was taken off the road, which we believe it was something to do with the rod bearings. So, and possibly crank, but I bring you over to Lee anyway, and Lee can obviously, he's been going over it.
Yeah, so I've had a tap round it, and it looks fucking horrendous, but it's all just rust, it's not rot. The one thing you gotta be careful is rot, not rust isn't really too bad. Like all the bits that are rusty, they're all pretty solid, with the areas you want to worry about. So actually, even though it looks horrendous, none of it is structure at all, so yeah, to be honest I wouldn't be too concerned about it. Maybe a bit of wax oil and that to sort it out, like, but
yeah. And all these parts that you're saying that are rust, they're bits that we could replace anyway.
You can all drop these off and you can get them powder coated, shot blasted, and make it look real smart.
I could spray anyway.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. It's just areas like up in here where it gets like you got to start welding stuff to the car.
Yeah.
But up in there, it all seems sound. So.
And there's nothing in those.
There's there's nothing in them areas to be concerned about.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've just been basically what I've done so far.
Yeah.
I did a compression test to see to see what's going on with the engine. You can find out 90% of what's going on with an engine by a compression test. Yeah. If you've got one cylinder on lower compression than the rest, you can say that cylinder's hurt for some reason. So you can start looking into it. So before I went the sump off to check the bearings, I just wanted to make sure the rest of the engine seemed pretty up together. Yeah. And all cylinders are all perfectly, literally bang on with each other. Okay.
That's all right then. So we're okay with that respect.
So far, yeah, the engine looks healthy apart from the rod knock. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna whip the sump off now and have a look, see what we can see basically. Yeah.
Sweet. So obviously Lee's gonna be doing the car anyway, and you've done builds before. Yeah. You did mention it in the first video, but for guys that have only just watched from this video here, just run them through. So you obviously one of the cars you've built before.
Yeah. So I had a Honda Civic EM1 VTI. That was B16. Yeah. Originally NA, I then put a turbo on it, stock engine. Yeah. Made, I think it was 360 brake. Yeah. So not bad out of 1.6.
Yeah, of course.
Blew that up because the ringland's cracked. So basically stripped it down, rebuilt it, new pistons, new rods, all that sort of thing. And then I made 380 the second time. Yeah. Obviously it's my DC2 in the background that I've done lots to. So far it looks a bit of a sorry state at the minute, to be fair, but it's a slow project. Yeah,
like I said, he's going to be helping us with this build. So obviously stay tuned. We'll just be keeping the camera rolling. This is where we're going to be doing it.
There is bits around it. There is traces, there you go, look. Yeah. Traces of metal. Yeah. This is a really common problem with these though.
Yeah. And this is bearings in there, yeah?
Yeah, that's bearing material, that is. Yeah, you can see it. Like you look at the oil, look how it's glistening and moving. Yeah. Usually that would just be all one colour. Yeah. With an engine, metal really shouldn't be rubbing together. Yeah. It should be floating on a surface of oil. There should be no contact between the metal surfaces. Yeah. It should be metal. It should be the oil creating like a barrier.
So that tells us that rods have gone then?
Yeah, that's
rod
them
bearings
too.
have gone, yeah? Okay, so we're getting to the problem, which is good. It's just a case of how far and what is it tucked with it, innit, in the process of breaking, yeah. So yeah, we've obviously lost some of the rod bearings. You just seen in this little bit here in the sump tray, in the oil sump. I don't know how bad it is, but we was always aware of this anyway. When we first got the car, Simon said the first thing he said is rod knock, and that's it. But you know, obviously we're prepared to try to take the processes to actually get it, well, sorted, let's just say. But you know, sweet then. So we've got some sort of indication of where to start now anyway, which is better. Multiple times we've obviously started the car. It's not sounded too loud. It sounded like what we expected, but there have been a lot more worse cases with these and just Hondas when they do go the rod knock way. But yeah, it should be alright.
Right, now you can see the crank.
I'm running along there. So
Yeah,
it's the
that's
thing
it.
that's running through it, isn't it?
Yeah. These are your rod. That's a rod bearing there. There's a rod bearing in there, rod bearing there, and rod bearing there.
Yeah.
So we'll whip them caps off, and that'll tell us straight away.
Yeah.
But there's a bit of scoring, but it's all sacrificial.
Yeah.
All,
So should that look like, obviously...
that should look smooth as anything.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look smooth. If you can't, basically, usually the rule of thumb, if you can get your nail across it and your nail goes in a hole,
Yeah.
it's fucked. Because if you can run your nail across it and it's
Yeah.
not dropping in any like holes as such,
Yeah.
you're alright. So that one's alright so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you got cylinder 4, 2 and 1 are all scored
Yeah.
compared to number 3.
Yeah.
What I'm going to suggest is if we get a bit of wet and dry 1000 grit and we just polish them ever so slightly,
Yeah.
and we'll see if that's bearing material stuck to the crank,
Yeah.
or if that's actually crank material missing.
Yeah.
If bearing stuck to the crank, we
Yeah.
should be fine. But if it's crank material missing,
Yeah.
then we got
A bit different, isn't it?
yeah, eventually. So we'll have a clean up and see what we can do. So yeah, when we last left off, the engine was still in the car. We had the sump off and we were inspecting up inside the crank. But now, since then, got the engine out. Not too bad of a job, to be fair. Dropped it out on the subframe. Left the subframe on, left the gearbox on, just disconnected the drive shaft, exhaust, the electricals, which are quite easy on this. It's your main charge harness. Got here, you've got your main charge harness. So you've got your main charge harness, which is here. Goes from your battery around to your fuse board, from your fuse board down to the alternator and the starter motor, under there, and then round to the starter motor as well and the alternator. And then you're inside the car, you have this harness leaning over. You've got 3 plugs on the ECU, and then another plug to the fuse board. That is literally all the electrical connections there are going to the chassis. 2 radiator pipes there, some coolant hoses going to the heater matrix, not too bad to disconnect. Yeah, drive shaft exhaust, gear knob off, 4 bolts for the gator. There's your exhaust. Not too bad a job to do really, but yeah. Next job is get it off the subframe, get the gearbox off, get it on engine stand and start stripping it down. So basically we got Misha's engine apart now, fully stripped down, so we can see what's going on. Just give you a little update on where we're at the minute and where we're going. So we got the engine out, stripped down, head off, sump off, crank out. Basically we sent the crank off to be reground. We knew basically they got a nitride coating on the crank, which is a hardness coating which only goes down so deep. We were aware of this, but we just wanted to make sure that it wasn't savable, so we dropped off the machine shop and they confirmed my beliefs that the crank was too far gone to be reground. So we've got another crank on the way in the post, new bearings as well to go with it, standard size bearings as we didn't need to grind it. So yeah, I'll show you the rest of the stuff we've got out as well. So yeah, crank's off. Basically stripped down completely underneath. Nothing left in there. Got the head off, got the valve train off, got the pistons out as well. All the pistons look all right, they'll go again. Rods are all good. The only one that isn't good, this rod, number 2, as you can see, it's got quite deep scoring on the caps. Same on the actual rod itself. So that rod's being replaced. The rest are good, they can be cleaned up and go again. There's no sacrificial scoring as such. There's some light marks, but nothing that can't be polished out. Oil pumps stripped down as well to inspect. basically to make sure that there's no scoring or deep marks in that, but that all looks good as well, so we'll be able to reuse that, saving them a bit of money. The valve train looks good, so yeah, that'll get rebuilt up with new gaskets and things. All the exhaust off, the clutch plate's knackered, so he's having a new clutch put in there at the same time. He's down to the rivets on both sides. The gearbox off, gearbox looks in good condition, so all new brakes to go on it as well, calipers, discs, pads. There's no heavy marks on the bores, no heavy scratches, which is spot on really. I couldn't ask for much better. They've lost their honing marks, they've glazed over. So what we're going to do is we're going to run a cylinder hone tool down it. I'm going to hone them out, get some cross hatching in there so you get a better seal on the rings, stop you burning any oil. Yeah, I'll show you the process of cylinder honing and we'll go from there. The tool we use for cylinder honing, basically you got a drill, you got some legs on the spring. On the end of them legs you got a nice stone, grinding stone basically. You get different grades as well depending on how heavy you want to go, how much scoring's in the bores, and then lots of WD-40s needed. So I've shown you before, and I'll show you after once we've done it. Right, so I've done the first two, cylinder 1 and 2. As you can see now, some nice cross hatching on both of them. And basically what that means is it'll give the rings something to seal on, better than if it was glazed over. That will allow oil to pass the piston rings, and that will give you smoke out the exhaust. Whereas that is perfect, that's what you want. Nice up and down, or round and round scratches almost, and you think that'd be bad, but actually that's what you want to see in a cylinder. All done, all uniform, nice cross hatching, that'll stop you burning any oil. So yeah, I'm gonna get this rod off now as well, get this one rod off and then clean the rest of the bearing faces up. So we've got all the bits laid out on the table, ready to go. This com rod's fucked. As you can see, he's all scored. The others are absolutely mint. So got away lucky with just one rod being knackered. When I picked up a second-hand rod to replace it, brand new crankshaft from Honda. Ready to go again. Genuine crankshaft. Got the head gasket, all the oils, because obviously we'll have to have a run in oil because we've honed the bores, all the bearings, oil filters, oils a lot. So ready to go. Yeah, got all the parts now. I'm gonna start getting it back together.
So that's the stock exhaust down here. It needs, as you can see, it's had a bit broken off, which we're gonna get a sports exhaust on it anyway. And this is a clutch plate here, right?
Yeah.
Is this the new one we're fitting?
No, that's the old one.
That's the old one. So this was a bit rough, so we've obviously brought a new one. Gearbox there.
Yeah.
Gearbox. So that's obviously got to go back in as well. It's interesting to see a car in bits. Obviously you would have seen clips from Lee's bits that he's been doing as well. Manifold here, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, manifold here. We're going to do it properly. We're going to give it a proper exhaust on it and make it sound awesome. So that's what's coming in terms of that. Gearbox is going to go back in. Wheels there. We don't know what wheels we're going to put on there. May just be we put that on just to start with to get the car up and running. But eventually we're going to obviously try and get some proper set of wheels on there and make it look mint. I'm going to need a few detailers as well to get this car shining again. So obviously got Carl here as well. You know what I mean? They are obviously, he's part of this build, he's part of this journey. Obviously this is our project car but we picked up together. Obviously he plays more of the background vibes, but you know, obviously what are you thinking, Carl?
Ready to send it.
Ready to send it, yeah?
So the exhaust is just here now. Just landed. We've got the decat in here as well in the Take It World box. So things are looking up. Dual exhaust there. Look at those bad boys. We've got the cat here. It's obviously the decat straight through. Got the exhaust on now.
So yeah, the Honda S2000 is back together. The wheels are on. We're about to go for our first testing drive. This will be the first proper drive since you saw that video when we originally picked it up. We didn't even get to drive it either. We only just moved the caliper and moved it. So this will literally be the first drive. It's been emotional. It's been a long journey. I mean, Lee, he's been the man repairing it, so he's probably been through more of the actual real emotions.
That's it, yeah. Been some late nights, but
Yeah.
no, we got there in the end.
Yeah,
Sounding mint, sounding healthy, so we'll see what it does on track basically.
that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Here we go. Literally no rod knocking noise. Brand new crank, brand new bearings. Yeah, it's had a lot of stuff. Obviously, the paintwork at the moment, we haven't had it cleaned or nothing, as it's been in the garage for about a month now. So this moment is emotional, man, to see this car like this. This is it, guys.
I'm just trying to make sure there's no knocking.
Yeah. Obviously, we're just making sure there's no knocking. Brakes feel good, yeah?
Yeah. Let's do it again.
Brakes feel good, innit?
Brakes are good, yeah. So.
Fucking hell, man. Oh my god, man, I can't believe we are actually on road in this car. And in less than 5 weeks, bearing in mind we've had deliveries in that time, just set us back like two and a half weeks, I'd say.
I'd say it's taken me 2.5 weeks to build it. We've just been waiting about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks for parts. So it's taken 5 weeks to build it, but 2.5 weeks of that has been waiting for parts. So
Yeah. Okay. And does it feel nice?
it feels fucking lovely to drive. For a car that's been sat for 7 years,
Yeah.
it feels tight as anything.
Yeah. Wow. But it's been a journey. As I said, Lee's been on the spanner, so it's been a longer journey for him. But obviously I've still been emotionally involved, financially involved
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
We'll come to that on another video on how much this car actually costs me to bring back on the road. But I'll save that for another day. But for now, I'm just enjoying that I'm in a Honda S2000. Whoa! Oh, we're in the Honda S2000, yeah? If you guys remember, 5 weeks ago this car was sat on the drive for 6 years. It is on fucking road. Yo, shout out to LK Tuning, Lee, go and follow him up, peeps, yeah? Yo, we're on road in the S2K. Okay. Yo! Jeez, yo, this thing sounds mad. Have a whiff of that, you cunts. Woo! Yo! 9 fucking K. We ain't even hit 9K yet either, have we? Yo, listen, we're in the Honda S2000, yeah? Feels mint. Brakes feel nice, like you said, didn't it?
Yeah.
It feels so nice to be in this car. I mean, you wouldn't even know it's been off-road that long.
No.
Like you said, like the
It all feels tight at night.
Yeah.
You feel real ropey.
No pulling to the left
No.
and the right.
There's no knocking, like there's some mad bumps there.
Mad bumps,
Yeah.
and we're going over them like nothing.
Yeah.
Jeez, man. But yeah, man. Guys, you guys watching this, you probably watched the first video, you probably thought, what the fuck have I done, right? I even thought that to a degree when the money was transferred and I was home and dry. However, I believed in the journey, and Lee has been a massive part of this journey from the very get-go when I agreed, yeah, we're gonna use him. So, yeah, like, you know, this car's back on road. We're gonna do a few more things to it. Roof being one of them, but like things like wheels and everything like that.
Yeah.
But we just want to bed it in. We don't want to go and spend a lot more money on it now. We need to make sure that we do a couple 100 miles and the car is what it's supposed to be. But just from driving it, look.
Change up again, just out this out here.
But yeah, man, like I said, you'll see the whole thing in the next video when we're out, the car's clean and it's ready to go. As I said, there are other things like wheels, a few other little bits we might want to get, give it a nice clean, but for now, we're happy it's back on the road. We'll give it a shine and get you guys watching this next video. But thanks for watching. Fast Car Checks, S2000, LK Tuning, you know the vibes. Like and subscribe, man. Bye, bro.